friends, welcome to Creating with Jovi and 100 Days of Pockets. Today is day 66 and in collaboration with Cindy A. Lewis, I have created a fun folded banner pocket. And there's our little pocket, but then when this goes into a journal, this can also be a pocket. So this is a really fun piece, I feel like. If you would like to have instructions on how to make all of the pockets that Cindy and I have been making, you can go to my description box and there's a link to her Ko-Fi shop. And if you click that link, it'll take you to the printable booklet that she has available for you to share with you how to make these pockets. Today you're going to need some scrap paper or cardstock. I am actually going to use a scrap piece from my master board. You will also want some scissors, glue or tape, hole punches maybe if you want to add some twine to it, and ink, stamps, embellishments. You're going to want to cut your paper to be 5 to 6 inches long, and I'm going to check this scrap and see what we've got. Oh, it's perfect. It's just shy of 6 inches, so that's fantastic. This says 2 inches wide. I think I'd like to go a little bit wider. So this right now is 3.5 inches. I'm going to cut it at 3 inches or thereabouts. Now it's time to notch the bottom edge into a banner shape. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my board and I know it's got these lines that go like this and I've never used them before, but I think I could use them to get a banner shape that's like even on both sides. That's my goal. So I've got my ruler and I'm just going to experiment with this for a second. If I put this here, I see, look how I see this, right? So I wonder, if I put this here, can I follow those lines? And let me see what'll happen if I do. Okay, this one goes up here. Okay, it's pretty extreme. This line is pretty extreme, but I'm going to, with pencil, I think it's going to be too pointy if I do this, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. I'm writing really light on there. Okay, and I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to line myself up with this one. Let's see if these lines will cross over one another. We'll find out in just a minute. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they do. They cross over right here. So I'm going to go with it. To me, it's pretty extreme of a banner shape, but that's okay. I know that it's straight, so I'm going to go for it. Okay, my friends? And right where they meet, which is right here, I'm going to erase the other lines before I cut anything. All right, here we go. All right, like I said, it's a little bit of an extreme height. It could have been shorter and come in a little bit more, but that's okay. We're going to embrace it the way it is. All right, and then the instructions say to fold it up about 2 to 3 inches. So I am going to, you know what, before I fold and glue, I want to do something inside here. That's way too plain. So I'm going to grab my ink, and first thing I'm going to do is ink around the edges. Oops. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add a little stenciling for some interest. Now let's have a look at it when we do this. Ah, that looks so much better. So much nicer. Okay, now I feel like I can go ahead and glue these edges down. I tried to put a pretty thin strip of glue down the side just because it's a pretty small pocket and I want to add too much glue and make it even smaller because you know how it spreads. Oops. Alrighty, here we go. I feel like I did my fold a little bit crooked here. I'm trying to straighten it out. We can make this a hanging pocket, and so let's go ahead and do that. I will use my Crop-A-Dile, and I'm going to punch a hole in the top here. I've got my paper clips on here, not paper clips, my clothespins on here, just to help it dry, you know, dry flat. And so we got our hole put in here. I'm putting the grommet. Putting the grommet in. And now, so just so you guys know, if you don't own one of these, or you do, but you're not quite sure how to use it, there's a small hole and a big hole, and you're gonna punch it according to the size of the grommets that you get. I always get the bigger of the two choices. And then if you look here, it'll say right here, it says base, and that goes on the bottom. And then this is the top, and it shows that there's an arrow, and it shows your grommet right here. So I know that I have to, that's the top and that's the bottom, and that's how I have to use the tool. If you use the tool upside down, it'll just do weird things to your grommet, and your grommet will not work properly. I actually had the tool, and I don't enjoy reading instructions too much, so I had it, and I had made so many mistakes by using it incorrectly. And finally I saw on there the writing, and it said, you know, it said what was up and what was down and all that, and I was like, oh, that's how I use this thing. Okay. So I have a little piece hanging over the edge here. I'm just going to clean that up with my scissors. There we go. Everything looks even now. I have some twine. I actually have some like jute twine, and then I have this with the gold, but I think this looks much better with this. So let's use that. I'm going to use this as my backing paper. This is another piece of masterboard, and I think these look great together. They're not from the same masterboard, but they still work really nicely together. So since we're going to have this fun hanging pocket, this is going to add a lot of interest to a journal. I'm actually really excited about it. So I'm going to put this on here like this, and then I'm going to do the knot right here. Okay, and I'm going to pull the knot up as far as I can so that we get a nice swing on the other part. Oops. There we go. Okay. So this is going to pull down here now like that, and then this will swing like that. Okay, isn't that cute? And then I'm going to take this tag. This is like a little scrap from the masterboard, and I'm going to pop this inside of this small pocket. Then when I take my backing sheet, which is this, and I glue that into a journal, if I want to, I can glue like here, down here, and here, and then this can be another pocket. So that can be a lot of fun. I really like this. I like the creativity of it, and I think it's a cool vintage looking piece. Friends, be sure to check out Cindy A. Lewis's channel and see what she came up with for today. Thanks for watching. See you soon.